Guys, we are out here out front of Hot Rod LA, HRLA. So tonight is Project Blitz and Hot Rod retrospective of Nike SBs. So these are all of the Nike SBs from the first one to the ones that came out last week. So you're gonna see some of the coolest sneakers. You're gonna see one of the biggest sneaker influencers ever here speak to the camera, hopefully if he's down. And the owner of the shop, Bernard, who's a legend. He had one of the first 6 ever Nike SB accounts. So let's get inside, let's check it out. We're here a little bit early.
What's going on here tonight is a complete retrospective of the most rarest, most sought after samples, everything SB.
Well, the reason I wanted to do it at Hot Rod is the fact that we did the retrospective last month and it was like a crazy hit. So Bernard being a good friend of mine for a very long time and owning one of the first thing was like sneakers, like Dion's, Bows, you know, Jordans, the whole thing. Agassiz, like growing up in the 80s and 90s, that was like my whole deal. And then all of a sudden the SB thing hit and it was like, boom, there it is. Nike SB created this whole scene beyond skate, beyond sports, beyond like the typical sneaker collecting that was going on. It was like something that brought so many different people in. It was about the art, it was about the styles, about the lifestyles, it was about bringing in the experiences that influenced the colorways that the SB crew was like putting together, and that's what created this whole craze back in 2002 that just like it was crazy, right?
Fuck you attitude that skaters had and the whole, you know, rebel mentality, and that's what made SB more sought after. So I feel people gravitated to SB because there was this whole culture of sneakers, and then there was this whole culture of only Nike, and then like we took it down to another sub-level, which was SB.
We put together like quite an assortment, you know, this is more intimate party. It was very small, it was very quaint, you know, it was RSVP only because there's so much valuables like on the wall, and you know, obviously the main piece for me is obviously the Paris Dunk because it bridged the gap between like the sneakers and the art, as well as Futura, Stash, many other artists that have like, you know, done collaborations with Nike and whatnot. But to me, this was like the epitome of like artistic nature on sneakers, you know. So that's why I decided to have this as the centerpiece of the whole event. We put a few pairs together just to see that they're all completely different. Like it's a entire like collage of Bernard Bouffet's like work from. He's an artist from Paris, France, and that's why they're called the Paris Dunk. And that's what led into the London, the Tokyo, and eventually the Pigeon Dunk in New York. But obviously one that never released was the Flam Dunk that was done by Futura. Flam obviously being for love or money. But the greatest thing about it is like, you know, people came in, they drove down from San Francisco just to come to this event, just to come to Hot Rod, just to see some of this. So, I mean, you know, all in all, it's about bringing back the energy that used to be there, you know, 10 plus years ago. So I'm glad we did this today, Bernard. Happy birthday, bro.
Yeah. And if you don't subscribe to Fosh, there might be major repercussions.
Maybe I'll post a video if you subscribe.
If we get Fosh to 500 subscribers, we will post whatever video. Hold on, if we get Fosh to 500 subscribers, I'm gonna make a video about this. You guys in the comments are gonna choose what her first video is. So let's get Fosh to 500.
Don't make me do anything crazy.
Listen, they can do whatever they want.
No.